We are Tatiana Haiduk and Polina Boychuk. It's Kyiv, not Kiev.
We used to see each other quite often. We enjoyed sharing the news from Ukraine with you, inviting guests to our cozy Kyiv studio and having incredible feedback from you.
On February 24, Russia launched a new round of bloody war against Ukraine, and nothing remained the same, including our lives.
Anyway, we are back in touch. Not only does Russia bomb our cities, killing hundreds of civilians, it also uses billions to spread its lies around the world.
So it seems like we have a lot of work to do. In this short episode, we'll tell you why there is no Nazis in Ukraine, but so many rumors about the Azov Regiment.
What proves that Russia committed genocide in Ukraine?
How Ukrainians preserve their humanity in inhuman conditions.
Why it is so important for the world to stand with Ukraine.
And how you personally can help to restore peace.
So please share this video with your friends and let's start.
It's fair to start with the fact in the 2019 parliamentary elections in Ukraine, the far-right parties finished with a paltry 2% of the vote. Comparatively, the new party established by Volodymyr Zelensky, a Russian-speaking Jew, won 43% of the votes.
Since Vladimir Putin ordered his army to invade Ukraine, his government has stubbornly called the attack a special operation to denazify Ukraine.
Nazis in Ukraine narrative dominates in Russian news, with Nazi battalions being the favorite topic. By that, Russians mean Azov Regiment.
Amid the terrible humanitarian crisis in Mariupol, the city which the Azov soldiers are heroically defending, we feel more obliged than ever to tell you who the Azov Regiment is and why Russia hates it so much. We will do so using the arguments published by Vyacheslav Ligachev, a political scientist, in Euromaidan Press.
First, the Azov Battalion is one of the units, a special task force of the National Guard of Ukraine, an official government regiment under the Ministry of Internal Affairs of Ukraine.
Second, there are no and cannot be any units created based on ideology in the Ukrainian National Guard. No, there are in the armed forces of Ukraine.
There were some individuals with neo-Nazi backgrounds and far-right views among the people who founded the Azov Battalion at the very beginning in 2014. Most of them left the regiment by the end of 2014. The rest of the far-right radicals who clearly articulated their views were discharged in 2017 by the order from the new commanders of the regiment.
Third, active servicemen in Ukraine are not allowed to be members of any political party. Besides, defense of the homeland is above any party interests and political affiliations.
Andriy Beletsky, the head of the National Corps political party, who did play a role in the formation of the Azov, does not have any formal affiliation with the unit since October 2014.
Fourth, Azov is indeed considered an extremist organization in the Russian Federation, just like Facebook and Instagram officially declared to be extremist resources in Russia as well.
It's true that some of the founders of Azov had a far-right background. This was partially reflected in the emblem of Azov. This emblem does not correlate with the Azov's activities. In fact, Mariupol had a fairly large Jewish, Muslims, and Greek community who never reported any conflicts with the Azov members.
Let it be another indication to you that the Ukraine Pride, a non-governmental organization created to support the LGBTQ+ community, supported the Azov Regiment, launched a fundraising campaign in favor of the Azov fighters.
And last but not least, Azov protects Mariupol against a dozen of times larger Russian offensive force for more than 50 days. With no electricity, no heat, no access to food and medicine supplies, besieged but still fiercely resisting, the city of Mariupol is a symbol of Ukraine's unbreakable spirit. These are heroes, and as they do not give up, Russians do what they can to break them in the informational front, and they will not succeed either.
Winston Churchill is credited with the phrase, "The fascists of the future will call them anti-fascists." No one but Russia represents Nazism and commits genocide in Ukraine.
And let me add, propaganda works if only you're willing to believe in it. We offer you to look at what is happening with open eyes and weigh the facts.
In early April, the Ukrainian army entered the KYIV region they occupied from the Russians. After that, all the horrors of the Russian invasion were revealed to the world. We saw Bucha, Irpin, Motyzhin, and Borodyanka.
The corpses of civilians scattered outside, mass graves with dozens and possibly hundreds of bodies. Exhumation is underway. Rape victims, the tortured and executed in basements. It all has become an evidence of terrible atrocities committed by Russia in Ukraine.
President Zelensky has publicly accused the Russian government of committing genocide in Ukraine. Indeed, what Russians did is numerous war crimes and crimes against humanity. But can these be classified as genocide? Let's find out together.
According to the Convention on the Prevention and Punishment of the Crime of Genocide of 1948, genocide means any of the following acts committed with intent to destroy, in whole or in part, a national, ethnical, racial, or religious group as such.
We are witnessing that Russia has done literally each of these actions in Ukraine. At the same time, we are aware that genocide is a legal concept, so we welcome a thorough investigation conducted by international institutions, including the International Criminal Court.
To conclude about the genocide in Ukraine, it is necessary to gather evidence and compare the specific attitude of the perpetrators of the crime with the nature of the violence they commit.
As for the specific attitude, the most obvious evidence is the false and historically insignificant speech with which Putin began his invasion. In fact, he denies the very existence of Ukraine as an independent nation.
On April 3, the Russian state news agency RIA Novosti published an editorial calling for the mass murder of Ukrainian people on the grounds because they call all of us Nazis. Denazification, the author wrote, is inevitably also de-Ukrainization. This is a classic genocidal ideology that corresponds to the various justifications for the Holocaust, the genocide in Rwanda, and so on.
As for the nature of the violence, you've seen these photos and videos. Witnesses who can confirm the crimes of the Russians are alive, and they will say their word, and they are already talking.
US President Joe Biden has said that dictator Vladimir Putin is committing genocide in Ukraine.
Your family budget, your ability to fill up your tank, none of it should hinge on whether a dictator declares war and commits genocide half a world away.
Yes, I called it genocide because it's become clearer and clearer that Putin is just trying to wipe out the idea of even being able to be a Ukrainian.
Justin Trudeau agrees. He believes that it's absolutely right that more people are using the word genocide in relation to what Russia is doing.
I think, as President Biden highlighted, there are official processes around determinations of genocide, but I think it's absolutely right that more and more people be talking and using the word genocide in terms of what Russia is doing, what Vladimir Putin has done.
But French President Emmanuel Macron has a different opinion. He refused to call the actions of the Russian army in Ukraine genocide because he considers Ukrainians and Russians to be brotherly nations.
Dear President Macron, this is the same as not recognizing pedophilia as a crime, based on the fact that people are relatives. And please, forget about the Russian propaganda stamp about brotherly nations. We never were, and obviously never will be.
On the 14th of April, the Verkhovna Rada of Ukraine declared the actions of the Russian troops in Ukraine as genocide. As conventional tactics have not achieved Putin's goals, unconventional methods of warfare are coming into play. Mass killings, including the use of chemical weapons and threats of nuclear weapons. The international community has to respond.
The only truly effective tool for ending violence is to defeat its perpetrators. This remains an urgent and crucial task in responding to the war in Ukraine.
To Ukrainians, every life is precious. The war affected not only people, but also their pets.
Fleeing the horrors of war, Ukrainians are saving their little companions. 17 cats. Wow, are all of them yours?
Like, yes and no. In Kiev, all my family all together, we have like small private family shelter for cats. So we take stray cats, take care of them, and then try to find them new family. We have several like our cats that we don't want to find any other family, but all the others are they are ours for like sometimes for several months, sometimes even for a year or year and a half, but eventually we want to find them some other families.
What does it look like to travel with a car packed with 17 cats?
Packed. The thing is, like 17 cats take a lot of space. We had like in 2 cars, we had 17 cats and 5 and 6 adult people. So unfortunately we had to make a choice. Do we want to take some stuff, or do we want to take cats? It wasn't a choice for real, so of course we take cats. So we have left behind almost all our stuff, our belongings. It was stressful, first of all, I think more for us than for them, for real. They somehow, usually cats don't like to travel by car, but this time somehow they knew that it was some problem because they were very quiet, very calm for them. Like usually when I took one cat and go to bed, I'm listening to all opera during all the road, but this time they were like they were scared because people were acting not like they used to. So they were very calm and very quiet, but it was not a lot of space, I will say.
How long did it take to get to Germany, to your final destination point?
It took us 5 full days with the 12 hours driving every day.
How are the cats now?
They're fine. I think they're living their best lives. They like it here. They're a little bit confused because they are not allowed to go out from the room because the people who host us here, they have dogs, so we like separate them. And we already found new families for several cats, and they will live in Germany. They have just brilliant new families, brilliant new places to live. So we are very happy for them, and we are looking for the families for several more cats. But I think they're doing fine.
Do they meow in German?
Yeah, definitely. They are better with language than I am.
Risking their lives, Ukrainian activists assert humanity by helping animals in critical situations, like Zoo Petrol does. The initiative rescues animals left by their owners.
They supply water to the animals through the peephole of the front door, or, with the consent of the owners, dismantle part of the wall at the entrance to free the trapped animal.
Numerous organizations save animals in an emergency, deliver food to shelters, buy food and medicine, promote adoption, etc.
War is also a tough test for the zoos. Animals are slowly dying without food and heat, terrified of explosions and shots. However, people help as much as they can.
Thanks to those who bought tickets online, never planning to visit the zoo in the coming weeks, Mykolaiv Zoo purchased food and maintenance for their wards 2 months in advance.
Ukraine is going through its darkest times, but we are confident that victory will be ours, because we feel the world's tremendous backing.
At a time when many politicians lack the confidence to stand up for Ukraine and therefore for democracy, for the truth, you, just like me, but in the United States, Canada, United Kingdom, Europe, or other countries, have become the driving force of the movement for the free world.
We see every one of you, friends. We appreciate each and every one of you. However, we just have to ask for more.
Please, accept with compassion and understanding Ukrainians who have been forced to leave their country. They are escaping war, not poverty. They are scared. They are sad for their home and family. Become their safe haven.
Please spread the truth about the war in Ukraine. Do not fall for Russian propaganda, and do not allow your loved ones to become its victims. Become our voice. You can share this video, and more people will understand why neo-Nazism is the integral part of Russian political culture and why the Azov soldiers are heroes.
Please keep pushing your politicians for further military, political, and financial help for Ukraine. We are not asking you to fight for us. We are fighting for you here in Ukraine, for the values of a free and democratic world, to stop Russia from advancing on Europe. You should become a part of our team. Write us in the comments below what you can do, and we will give you a very specific advice how your letter to your MP, for example, can help Ukraine in the war with the tyranny.
Please continue to support the Ukrainian army. We'll leave links to our Friends Economic Security Council of Ukraine account in the comments section of this video. With their help, we buy thermal imagers, monoculars, and other things for the defenders of Ukraine. Remember, if we don't buy these products, Russia will, and then it will use this while killing children in Ukraine. We did not start this war, but we will end it. Be our allies.
These were Polina Boychuk and Tetiana Haiduk of KYIV NOT KIEV. Stay safe, stay kind, and stand with Ukraine.